Hey, family, what's going on, y'all? I know Pastor Kelly doing his thing. We hold on. Oh. I'm trying to look at my little chat section. What's going on, family? Hello, hold on. I forgot to. Hello, how's everybody doing? How is everyone doing, family? Come on in here. I got Lon, Harv. I hope I'm saying that loud. They're right. What's going on with you, people? Come on, if y'all can hear me, hit that one. Hit one if you can hear me. I don't have my mic right now because my mic is doing some weird stuff right now, so I am without my mic. So pray for me, saints. I'm gonna have to take it to the Guitar Center and get it fixed, because yeah. But hello, Lewis. Lewis, we got 14. Come on up in here, y'all. Hit one if you can hear me. Hit one if y'all can hear me. Hit one. Hello, family. Hello, Mariah. Hello, Mariah. How are you? All right. I hope I spelled Patreon right. I keep thinking that I spelled Patron. I think I spelled Patreon right, y'all. Y'all know I'm silly. All right, yeah. I have a guest. I know I'm colliding with my brother, Pastor Kelly, but that's all right. Come on in here, family. Let's see. We're going to get started. Who do I have? Roll call. All right. So with that being said, family, I decided to do a live with one person. I think everybody knows her. She has been a blessing to the community. She's in everybody's chat. Right now, she's not in Pastor Kelly's chat to help him because she's with me. But she's always there to lend a helping hand, give encouraging words. When Sister E put her foot in her mouth, she's always there to say, "Oh, you're doing good." She always blessing us. And she's also my Patreon. I think she was my first subscriber was Teo. I think my second subscriber was Ruhama. She was my second one. So let me bring Ruhama in real quick, y'all. Something just happened real weird. Can y'all see me? Okay, I'm back. Something happened. So I'm going to add Ruhama in here. Hold on, y'all.
Hey, there you are. Hi, y'all.
Hello. Orthodox Moore. What's going on, sir? What's going on? Thank y'all for supporting me. I know I'm colliding with Pastor Kelly, but he will be all right. So I wanted to bring Ruhama on. She has been a blessing to a lot of us. She's there. She's in the chat. She making sure people act right. She gonna boot you out if you don't act right. But like I said, she was one of my first set of subscribers when I went over to Patreon, and I said I wanted to do something with my Patreon subs, and I decided I'm gonna do a show with them. I always do my late night thing, and they always there, except for Ruhama. Bless her heart, she sleep, and I'm making her stay up with me for a little bit. I ain't gonna keep her up for long. What's up next?
Hey.
So y'all get to meet Ruhama. How many of y'all have seen her in the chat? You gonna make sure if you don't act right, you gonna get kicked out. Yeah, they trying to get me because I'm finna talk about Jeff Durbin. They done messed up my life, but that's all right. Look at the Lord. Look at God. He just said, nope, you're not gonna stop this. but Ruhama has been, she's always there. She's in that chat. Y'all best to act right because she gonna kick you out.
I'm in the chat till I fall asleep.
Sister
Amy, I'm talking late. She said, I'm gonna let y'all go, but Did y'all hear about?
You see her family? She trying to come from my little southern accent. Oh, that's oh wow, you coming from my southern. But I am countryer than a hog mouth.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
that's
And yes, I
beautiful,
said
though.
hog mouth, folks.
It's beautiful though. I love the way you talk. I
I,
like that dialect. That's beautiful.
thank you, but I'm country.
That's all right. That's all right.
What's funny is I went to New York one time. One of the times I've been to New York because I love it out there. And every time I'll go into like one of those bodegos somewhere. And here comes some man. Where are you from? And I'm like, quit flirting. I'm from the South. I have Southern etiquette. Now it's a little ratchet, but hey. So I wanted to bring her on because I wanted everybody.
Oh,
I'm gonna start doing segments like this, but she's been a blessing. I mean, Ruhama, I just want to tell you, there were days that I would just be like, I need a mod, and you messaged me one day said I could be a moderator. I was like, yes, because the Saints try to slip in. I try to keep them folks out. But it was blue moon, wanted to slip out. And one day you was delete stuff. I was like, wait, they cool. I think it was you or someone else. But I mean, y'all keep it in check. All my mods on check. In fact, I am going to have a mod meeting. So anybody that is a moderator, please. Somebody want me to put my Patreon. My Patreon. Oh. Here's my Patreon. I could do this. It's where's my little ticker? Show. Oh, there we go.
yay! There it is. The ticker.
Yes, the ticker. You know who made me that I watched and I said I need to update my ticker is Dante. Dante has his just so clean and crisp, where mine just be whatever I can get. I hope I said late night right there.
Oh, you do well. You do really well.
In fact, I'm the one that then showed them how to use StreamYard.
You did. You introduced them to it.
And then they you see how they do me? You see? That's all right. I know Yakoba probably in here somewhere. Yakoba, he probably sleep too. He probably somewhere sleep too. There go Mr. Blacktastic.
Mr. Blacktastic.
There you go. I knew he was gonna pop up with that picture of that baby.
That's so cute.
But on his Facebook page, he has a little commentary under it, or little comments under it, and it was like something about somebody stole a cookies or something. What do you say? What is the little meme that you have for this? It is hilarious.
Oh,
but yeah, I just wanted to bring you on, let the family meet you.
Hey, family. Hi.
There you go, talking about hey y'all. Ignore Blacktastic, because he's gonna start cutting up in the chat in a minute. We are not talking about pork rinds today.
Oh.
No, I'm just
joking. Spam sandwiches.
Yeah, we'll start with the greasy pork rind ministry. We're not doing it today.
It's a pork rind anointing.
That's it. Just like pork rinds, and he is hilarious.
He is funny.
He is.
It's a good sense of family, though, on your page. So it's a really good sense of family, and it's a very, comforting to laugh, and it's like you come in the room and it's family. It's family.
Yes. And that's
laugh and talk and poke at you.
There go our friend right here. Tia, we gonna have to
and the crowd goes wild.
Tia cuts up in the chat. She gonna go cut up in Terry's chat. She gonna go cut up in everybody's chat. You better not say nothing about
Bet not.
Tia's gonna go check you. Tia kept me in check yesterday because I was going off, and she was like, "Sister E, that wasn't nice." I'd be like, "I know it." But I mean, I try my best to make it like that, because I can't work in an environment where it's just like, let's do this. I got to make people feel like they're, invited. you
They
know.
are. And you do have a sense of being invited. It's like we're in your room, your living room, you know. I'm gonna do the Sister E.
Oh yeah, because I have to always make sure this is. I told you. Let me tell y'all why I do this, and I told Ruhama why I do this. I will start getting ready in the mirror, and I just be like, "Oh, okay, I'm good," and then come in here and sit down and look dead at the screen, and I have.
Yeah, I know.
And if I see this standing up like this, I'm gonna stare at it the whole time, and I just be like,
And nobody else notices it. But we do see you do this. It's like, okay, Sister E, you pretty girl, you pretty.
thank you. It's just this OCD. If I see this one little piece,
I know.
I could be talking and see this, and the whole time I'm looking at this like
My hair is sticking up. I get it. I totally get
and
it.
then the camera is I'm off. Like the way I see the camera, I'm reaching for this side, but I'm
But
seeing
it's on that side.
and I
Yeah.
get confused. And I'm like, oh, this the wrong side. So
You're good.
I like
You're
the
gorgeous. I told you it's just illegal.
thank you.
You be breaking the law. You be breaking the law.
I'm breaking somebody's law. I try my best not to break no law.
You be sitting up looking good that late at night.
No, I don't.
It's
Thank
illegal.
you.
Illegal.
Do you realize how much Bobby Brown and Mac and thank you though. Thank you. I found a new makeup called what is it? NARS?
No.
I can't remember. My daughter loves makeup. So she kind of got on me because there was a phase where I was just like, I'm not buying nothing. And my daughter was like, Mama, you used to be like you used to do certain little things. And she said, why don't you get back into that? So every time we go somewhere, she finds something. That's what happened. We had an 18-year-old and 17, or she was 17 then. She'll go find something, put it on my hand, and be like, this fits you. Let's get it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not getting it. And she said, well, you're getting it, and then put it in the basket and walk off. So she's sweet. She's sweet. She don't like me talking about it, so I'm gonna quit talking about it because she just be like, "This is your show," and I just like, okay. But
the daughters are sweet like that. I got 3 daughters, so let's say I got 3 daughters.
got 3.
I got 3 daughters.
What's up, A Unity?
She's special. She's special.
No, she's not. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Ruhama is very energetic.
Yes, I'm Berean's sister. I'm his sister.
She said she's Berean's sister. Y'all tell her stop speaking that on herself. I'm not gonna let you.
True. It's true story. When I first saw him, I just knew that was my brother. That's my brother.
He's somebody's brother. I don't quite know.
I saw the energy and all the. Then he started drinking coffee, and I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I can't do coffee. I was telling Sister E, I can't do stuff like that. Caffeine, no.
I can. I have to every morning. I have to. If I don't, I'm gonna sit in front of the screen for work and be looking at people like, and they gonna be like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like,
coffee.
I gotta have
intravenously.
one cup.
Just one cup. Are you caffeinated or decaf?
Caffeine. Oh, it's got to have caffeine in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's got to have caffeine in it.
Gotta have it. Gotta have it.
Wait a minute, somebody said Cherry is in here. I see the thumbs down. Cherry Love, I see you ear hustling.
She did a thumbs down. You just got on here. Oh, it sure is a thumbs down.
This is our fighter right here. She gonna fight.
Tia in there, she get her.
That's who just said it. Tia. She just said it. Y'all, she already, I don't know what's
going on. Is it Tia or is it Tia Ya?
Oh, she doing her own live. Somebody said, no, she doing her own live. That is.
Tell Tia Ya, or is it Tia? Tell her to spell her name phonetically for us.
Spell your
name. Tia Ya, or is it Tia? Tia Ya. Tia Ya. Tia Ya. Tia Ya?
She said exactly.
Okay. Tia Ya.
Tia Ya. Okay.
Tia Ya.
Tia.
I like that. That's pretty.
Oh, that's pretty.
Because my name was Ruhama, but I like the way Sister E said it.
Ruhama. I will mess up. I'm so sorry. I'm the one that originally messed up Tayu's name, and he changed it because Tayo. I'm country, and I say
But it's all right. We love you.
Yeah.
Just the way you are.
Pronounce it again so I won't say it wrong.
No, it's good. I like the way you say it, though.
Everybody just be like, I said, I am destroying your name. Tell me the right way.
But you're not doing it in disrespect, and it's just your dialect. It's
I'm cutting.
yeah, it's very endearing.
Thank you. That's a nice one saying you're cutting. I'm just messing. You know what? My southern side, I just be like, it is what it is. I think being from the South, it's different. It's different. It's a different environment. Even though it is a little bit of racism in the South, but it's not as prevalent as I would see it here in these parts over here. And
Ooh, they out and about in some parts. Here, it's like, yeah, you see it.
Yeah. Down south, it's just like if they don't like you, they not gonna say nothing to you, and you good with it. But if they like you, they love you.
Yeah.
It's like an understanding. It's like don't
Yeah.
cross this line, or I want you to. It's like a level understanding. And it never bothered me. But being from the South is different. It's a level of it's an understanding you gotta have living out there. Do I miss it? No.
You don't miss it.
Mm-mm. So Ruhama, I hate I'm saying it like this now.
That's okay. I like it. I like the way you say it.
Thank you. Tell us something about yourself. I'm gonna shut up because I can talk.
Well, I'm black, and been black for a while. No.
Wait a minute. Keith Curry said Binghampton in the house. Binghampton in the house. So Keith Curry, you know about Voices of Binghampton. That's all I'm saying. I'll be quiet. All right, Ruhama.
Okay.
Talk about.
Okay. Well, became a believer, not awakened, but came to faith at 22, 4 kids by then. Just, was in church, Kojic, Church of God in Christ. Wouldn't have it any other way because I didn't like a dry church. You had to be swinging from the chandelier or just, but I mean, I liked, the high energy of that because I was raised a Baptist. And so to come into that is like, wow, I was amazed.
Like around and I don't get it.
Everybody dancing, even the old folks dancing. Everybody was dancing, so that amazed me. But just to bring it about to my awakening, though, this was like about 3 years ago. Just had this, I was at work and I was just really bleeding inside, just hurting, seeing what was happening to people. And it was like y'all was opening my eyes to see that it wasn't just, like my family that was going through this with the police or what have you, or the mistreatment or just, but I began to notice like, wow, this is not just here. It's like kind of worldwide, it's like my eyes began to open up to the things that we were going through.
Yeah.
And I began to just, it was shortly after Philandro Castile and that I think the other gentleman that had gotten killed 2 days or so before him. And so it was like 2 in that same week that they had gotten killed. And I remember being at work, and I haven't ever mentioned this to anyone else, but one of my coworkers, her children, and it's kind of painful to me. Her children were selling lemonade for the families of the officers in Dallas. Remember somebody, they said that someone had shot, these officers, and they pinned it on this black guy. And
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was always kind of fishy even then, to garner sympathy, I thought. But anyway, they sold and their family went over there to Texas and they had photo ops and everything, like, oh, look at this nice family. Just, they were, the Manila people, they had all this sympathy for them. But here I was just bleeding. I was hurting. I mean, I was really like hurting. And I began to cry out to God, like, and these were my words. I'm like, God, do you hate us? Why you hate us? Because I really felt that. It's like I was a believer, yes, and you know, tongue talking to everything, hooping, hollering, shouting, tithing, whatever, But I just had this sense that something wasn't right. That it's like, well, why is so much hate for us? And it's like in increments, he began to open my eyes up to who we were. And it started with one of my daughters, my youngest daughter, in fact, she was with one of those camps or something or another, and I thought she was crazy. You know how mamas be, it's like, but they were, in this particular chapter here, they were marching down the street with their guns, with open carry, and they would march and, and all this and that. Oh, okay. Better be careful, girl. Ain't all bail money ain't like that. But she would say, Mama, we the people. We the people. And, we under the curse. And I'm like, girl, ain't nobody under no curse. Cause you know how you be like, I ain't under no curse. Please. I mean, you could see all the hardships and stuff, but you don't connect the dots. And so shortly, after that, I don't know how I ended up watching. I don't know if it was, I don't know who actually I watched on YouTube, because I wasn't a big follower of YouTube, videos. I was more of a home and garden TV kind of a person, or some murder mystery or something, or some sci-fi something. And, I was heavy into all that kind of stuff, just my escapism. But I ended up watching something, and it had different episodes. Like it had Darby on there. It had Pastor Omar Tebow, and I think maybe even Tail. I'm not sure, but whoever show it was, they had all of that, and one thing led to the next. And I just ended up watching Pastor Omar, and I ended up with the Whited Out series. It was like, and Darby, and it's like slowly, I began to see and understand, but I still was, going to a regular church, and eventually I ended up just leaving, that church, and because I just couldn't, I began to see the wooden crosses, and it's like I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable with a lot of things, and it wasn't anything personally against the people, because they were good, they were decent people, but that's my awakening. I just, me just crying out and him leading me gradually to the truth. And I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I don't know everything, I'm
all of us are growing. All of us are growing.
When I gave up bacon, that was a big thing, because I had bacon t-shirts, I had bacon soap, I had bacon air freshener. I love bacon. Everybody knew me. I love bacon. You want to make me happy? Give me bacon.
Well, you had to give up bacon. Bless you.
But you know what? It wasn't a hardship, because all it took is when I heard, I think it was Vinia or somebody, I don't know who it was, because there's so many people, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they said when they got these Hebrews, they made them eat pork. And that made me so mad. I don't know why, but it's like they made them eat pork. They knew they were, Israelites, and they made them eat pork. That was it. I didn't have to. You ain't have to tell me like they made them eat pork. That just made me mad. I'm not gonna eat any more bacon because they made them kids eat pork.
She is not eating no more bacon. You can't make her eat bacon.
No, because they made those poor Hebrew children eat pork. As soon as they got off that boat, they had them pork.
That means no more pork, spicy pork rinds for you, Blacktastic.
He gonna eat them a pork spam sandwich.
He said you were baconed out. But
yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I because that, that troubled me. It really did bother me. It's like, man, so that's my little.
So story. The interesting part, you said your daughter.
Yes.
And we start now with the interview first, because I want y'all to meet her, and then we're gonna start. Say it right. I want to say it right. Tell me how.
Ruhama.
Ruhama. That's beautiful. Ruhama. Ruhama. Mine, get it.
So I still got a little pork, little ham. No, it's not really.
Y'all, they gonna be praying for you. Be like, get that pork spirit. No, just joking. Ruth, come on. I got to remember y'all. Pray for my mind. I'm working on this.
Oh, girl, you fine.
But
Fine.
but I T T T yeah.
You speaking in tongue? Come on out. Come on. Come on. Come on, girl.
I will start with T yeah. I'm trying to say it right because I'm horrible. But you know what? If there was a penalty box, I would put her in it. Tia, y'all, I'm not dealing with you. No, I'm just joking.
Crackling.
We love Tia. Okay. We love Tia's spirit. Tia's spirit is you
beautiful.
Shame. But Ruhama, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad. But I just want to say it because you have always, I remember days that I would be doing lives. I would just be tired and I would look and you would say something and I just, you know what? Ruhama, if she's out here, we can keep it going. Because you would just be out, you'd be ready. Like Sister E, and I'd just be like, Sister E, don't even feel like Sister E right now. But I mean, you would be encouraging the people in the chat. You know, I see you in them other chats too. I said, oh, here come Ruhama. She ain't finna play with you.
I used to be an usher.
You will usher them on out.
Usher. And it's like a greeting too, because I like to see them come in. It's like, oh, hey, I'm so happy. Sometimes I think I get too excited and I have to like tone it down because like they don't really know me like that, and they're gonna get scared. Like scary lady in the chat room, a scary lady. I'm like, oh hi, because that's how if I see you on the street and I know you would think I'm thinking you're a movie star. So I'm like, oh hi, I've done that to people. Like, oh hi, what are you doing? I'm like one of those people. And it's like, oh, what's wrong with her? But I just get excited. And I see people and I just, just want to say hi and just, make them feel because life is rough and I know it's rough for Israelites. And I see them come in and I'm like, oh, hi, y'all, hi. Get them beautiful thumbs up.
But you do. You come in and be like, the first thing you be like, get them thumbs up. I'd be like, oops, I forgot. Yeah, get the thumbs up.
It's so funny. Sometimes I forget. I'm telling people to do it. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't even.
You have all of them.
I didn't even hit the button myself. Like, guilty.
You do that with Dante's chat, Kelly chat. And I don't be on my job. Dante be like, get them out. I just be like, oh, I missed that whole entire conversation to even delete it. I'm sorry. By that time, y'all done hit them. So. But yeah, y'all, if y'all see me walking down the street, I'm not that funny acting. Just don't run up on me and be like, don't chase me down the street like Black Panther.
Where you going, Sister?
I'm laughing because if somebody do me like that, my daughter gonna leave me where I stand. She gonna shoot off and be like, I'm going. No, y'all, I'm not funny acting. If y'all see me in the street, talk to me. I might talk your ear off, and you gonna be like, yep, Sister E talk for real. So
yeah. But it's a pleasure being on here. It's a pleasure meeting you and just,
It's a pleasure. I think I felt like I was with a celebrity. I was like, hi.
Go chase me down the street.
What y'all gonna realize about me is I will talk. Me and her we were supposed to get on about 30 minutes ago. We talked and it was a wonderful conversation. It was a blast. We even talked about the new person in the community, Tia, that's been in the Tia, y'all. She told me call her Tia because I'm messing up Tia, y'all. I'm gonna say it right. Tia, y'all. She be in this chat. She ain't finna play with you. And there go my Kiris.
Kiris on there. Kiris, go for it.
Kiris was actually my first. Well, no, I ain't gonna say my first.
Your first guest? Was he?
Right. He was. That's how I met. Well, not my first guest because I've had guests prior to. but all the guests that I had were kind of like either Teo, Teyu, that's his new name, or Yakoba. Like it's usually people that have channels. But far as somebody coming out, just coming that's in the community and was like what is it? Yakoba, they have their own little website.
Yeah.
So he was the first one I'd ever brought on the panel. We were talking about his experience. And,
yes, I remember that. I listened. Yeah. And you know what? I was one of those people who thought that Teyu, that Teyu and Yakoba were like the same one person. But I didn't want to say anything.
I was mad.
I mean, if that's how he got down, I mean, it was, that's all right. I wasn't trying to judge him, with his issues.
I was mad. I was like,
because I would sit there and listen, and then like, is he talking to himself? But that's okay, because I talk to myself sometimes because I know the answer. It's okay.
I'm not gonna let you say that to me. She don't talk to herself, say, ignore it. All of us do a little talking to ourselves. He talking too. And I'm just joking. But I was mad when I said, wait, it's two of y'all? And he was like, yeah.
Have you seen them? Are they real?
Yeah, they're real. They're black.
They're black.
They are black.
Are they blue black?
No, but they black.
No.
They black. They about the same as me, somewhat. But they're black guys. They're two black guys. So I've seen them. People like, are they black? I said, yes, they are. I have seen them. I have met them. I know them. Me and Dante know them.
Oh, okay.
If they wasn't, Dante didn't spill the beans by now.
He would say, "You're a liar."
Yeah,
he did on that show.
Maria got all these crazy Israelites on this panel. He don't know what to do with himself.
And you're a liar. I was like, woo.
Oh man, Maria got all the crazy ones. He got all the crazy, and then you got Pastor Kelly sitting there like this.
I know. He be having that big old thing in front of him.
Right. With that look in his eye, like when he do that, I mean, it means he finna go in.
He went in and he handled it righteously. He did good. I have much respect for all of them. They did really well.
They do. They keep me in check.
They did really well. They did really well.
I wanted to get in. They wouldn't let me get in.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Listen, Mr. E called me vote crap. I can tell you I called you vote crap. Let me get on now, y'all.
No, it wasn't even worth it. Don't.
But it was hilarious though, because he came in there like a mighty Russian wind.
I ain't got to prove nothing to you.
Oh, Muhammad was very nice and was like,
Oh, he.
Pastor Kelly was kind of sitting there with that mic. And I said, who went first? And he said, he said, well, I'm going to tell you this. You're a liar. I said, whoa. I'm like, where's Yakoba? Yakoba in the chat. Yes. And after they did the show, me, him, and Dante and Teo, all of us had a meeting late that night because I called. I said, I don't care what y'all doing after the show. You waking up. If y'all go to bed, y'all finna wake up. I'm finna talk to everybody. So I called them all. We was just like
debriefing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A debriefing.
Oh yeah, it was debriefing. It was more of what in the
what happened? What has happened?
Yes.
What has happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said I believe Yakoba is a little more extra. Yeah, he's more animated. Teo is a little more laid back.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He's his voice, that you can tell the difference in their voices. I can. I've listened to
it took a while though, but initially, when you first begin to listen and you don't know them, it's like, are they the same people?
Mm-hmm. The first time I talked to them, I was like, this is Taylor. And I know Yakoba was like, who's this crazy lady? Wait a minute. Is this Kiris? Hello.
Yes.
Kiris.
Happening Awakenings. I just subbed today. Holla.
You muted, my friend.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Kiris, you muted.
Yeah.
There you are.
Now.
Yes.
So since I got y'all on here, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this. I'm gonna play Jeff Durbin. I want to mess his name up. I need to mess his name up.
Do it like that. Urban.
Thank you. But before we do that, Karis, introduce yourself before we get started.
Who you is?
Okay, so my name is Karis Copeland, and I go by Covenant Awakenings when I do the broadcast because it's really something that my dad and I had set up because I take some spiritual cues from him, and so his ministry was Faith in Action, and that was in Melbourne, Palm Bay, Florida.
Okay.
And so that was established like around 30 years ago. So there's still a lot of people that still kind of know about my uncle and my dad doing that. So when I had gotten into everything, back in the day, we used to call this, like the end times ministries and, that eschatology breakdown. And, I got that at 12 years old from my dad. And so, it was something different. And to me, it was scary, but I didn't understand it because nothing really made sense. And if you don't understand things, then you grow up with that, oh, well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. So then in 2016, when I had awoken, because I was at my work, at my desk, just reading the word because I was contracting at that time doing IT. And so, I wrote some script, and as I was waiting for it to check on out, I was reading my word, and I was talking to a coworker of mine. I said, "Hey," I said, "it kind of sounds like we're the people." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, like the people of the book. I said, "That's what it sounds like," because all the people, all of us getting shot and killed in the streets and things of that nature. But then we came to find out that was more of the prophetic happening and occurring because we had to actually start waking up. And I think, at that wave, that was kind of that big wave on those bell curves, or, for them, it was a spiritual pandemic because Black folks were catching that spirit like these folks are catching COVID, so. we sick. Why is we sick? Because you want to know what? I done seen this. Something done happened to me. We the people.
We's the people.
We the people. Well, I know you have been in it for a while. You've seen things as far as overseas. We got to do another segment.
Yeah, because he saw a lot overseas.
Yes, I
talked with the people because I was listening to that particular show that you guys did, and the one that he was on with Teo Ministries. He was sharing some information, so I know you had spoken with people over there, and they know, and it's kind of a hush hush kind of a deal, isn't it?
Well, it is a hush hush because they know who we are. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand the biggest aspect to Psalms 83 is you can do anything in this world, including your own religion, as long as you have the money.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And see, what we didn't understand was the depths of money. Listen, you talk to a Muslim, he'll change his theology. You give him enough money, he'll be they'll have a rib shack up in Mecca. You give them enough money. Okay.
They have a rib shack.
They'll have a rib shack
with some snoops. They have some snoops. Down the St. Louis, that was a big deal. Eat some snoots.
They'll be talking about Prophet's Pork. You know what I'm saying?
Did
They
you
don't
say
care.
Prophet's Pork? Did you
Yeah.
just say Prophet's Pork?
The Prophet's Pork. They don't care. But that's the whole thing. It's the money that drives, and it's not necessarily the money, the paper. You know, it's what's represented of it. You know, the prestige, the cash, the gold, the wealth, anything that makes them, that has that allure. And so I saw that in a couple of the different nations that I would go to, and a lot of them, you know, they would talk and
I'm sorry, my phone is connected to my laptop. Keep on here.
And you know, as we would talk, you know, I wouldn't come to them, and I wouldn't jump on out, you know, in these Middle Eastern countries, like, hey, I'm a super Hebrew Israelite, and then try to, you know, tear off my clothes and come out in the fringes. But you know, it's one of those things that when you actually talk to them, and here's the thing, I have like a spiritual barometer. You know, the Holy Spirit will kind of say, okay, you can talk to them or you can talk to them. Because I don't like to talk to people. I won't talk to people. It's just, for me, I've always been kind of an introvert in certain respects, just because that's just my nature, because I'll always kind of fill people out. You know, that's just me. But when the
weekend's been good to you.
Oh, you know, he has, and he still continues to. And you know, when I will kind of just ask some questions, you know, they'll, you know, believe it or not, a lot of them aren't that like religious, believe it or not, you know, and especially in the areas that they'd be around Americans and things of that nature, because a lot of my counterparts would always be very like wary, you know, especially if they present like an overly religious fashion, because we look at that as, oh, well, you know, that's extremism, that's, you know, that's a terrorist, you know, things of that nature. And a lot of folks, you know, if you just sat down with them, just held a conversation, just, you know, talked about different things, you know, different events, you know, I would be able to kind of drill down and ask those questions in regards to, you know, number one, what do they think about us, you know, about Black folks? And the perception was starting to change, especially last year, because a lot of things were going on and were being captured on video. And not only were those things being captured on video, a lot of the stuff was making its way around the world. See, the George Floyd thing, that was like the basic.
That was hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
That was hard to see, and that was disgusting behavior. As par for the course for America, though.
Yes, it was, but you want to know what?
What?
That was actually something that was normal, and it still is. It in a way, it still is normal, because here's the problem.
Yeah,
policing has been normalized to kill folks, to kill Black folks, quote unquote Black folks. But we have
American way,
you know,
it's a worldwide way.
Yeah, and you know what it was that American way was caught on video, and it was shown throughout the world. Now, whatever agenda or whatever, you know,
some kind of
society thing you want to, you know, they're using it for. I mean, it really doesn't, you know, in my perspective, it really doesn't matter, because the Most High was using what he needed to use, you know, and the problem with that, especially when it comes to this conversation that we're getting ready to have with Jeff Durbin.
We're gonna talk to him. He's here.
Oh. No, but I mean, in regards to what he had said earlier, you know, and what else the channels have been saying.
Okay.
that was something that the modern church, quote unquote, couldn't handle. But it was also something that we have to look just outside of the United States. That's something that a lot of those Arab cultures couldn't handle, because when I was in the Middle East and I had spent a good 6 months there, I was actually seeing what the trans-Saharan slave trade had looked like and what it looked like. Now, the problem with the trans-Saharan slave trade was that these folks they weren't able to keep any of their nationalities or even where they had come from, And on top of that, then with the influence of Islam, that really messed them up. So not only, we had actually a benchmark with the Bible, so we actually had some sort of a compass. With them, you have the Quran, and it's like you don't have any compass. Like when you're worshiping wood and stone, yeah, you have the stone. You see what I'm saying? Because you're just kicking rocks at that point. You have no idea, where you're at or who you are or where you're going. So when I would speak to a lot of the black, quote unquote, black Arabs, they would say, yeah, we were products of the trans-Saharan slave trade. And you have to remember, the trans-Saharan slave trade, they still had slavery. And the last remnants of slavery was only up until about the 1930s.
Yeah.
So, and this is in Saudi Arabia. So you got to remember, that's just them. Think about UAE. Think about Qatar. Those are smaller satellite Arab nations. And, a couple of years ago, they had articles about Qatar and Doha with the bid to win the World Cup. And so they're trying to build all these stadiums. And they said, as they're building those stadiums, what they're doing, these folks were dying on the job. And they would just throw them into the actual foundation, right into the mud. So they got better, quote unquote. They got better, with safety standards. But that's what they're doing right now. So even their culture still reflects that in those parts, because when I was there, I felt very uncomfortable, in certain parts. And it was funny because, I would just kind of go around, doing my thing. But because if you see my pictures on Hebrew Sphere and everything else, I have that complexion, it's a lighter complexion. I'm not like
you yellow.
Yeah, I'm not high yellow, but I'm like yellow enough. You know what I'm saying? The shade on me.
That went out in the 80s, didn't it? No. Light-skinned boys went out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Y'all are hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's that guy with his little jeans.
Man.
Yeah, so I'll stop with the yapping, but
No, you're good.
You are good, Karis. I was listening to you today at work. Your latest.
Yeah.
I am so happy.
It's a stumbling block, or it was a stumbling block. That's what that was what I was on, and that was I try to be fair in terms of, listen, we have to convict ourselves before we can convict others. That's what I always try to say. Look, we have to be very introspective, because here's the thing. We have to clean our cup from the inside.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. These folks, that we have on screen, guess what? They can chew up our narrative and our argument so easy, because here's the thing. We're like chaff in the wind. Everybody goes to a different narrative. Everybody goes to, something crazy. And I came through because, it was actually last night on Sister E's channel. And I was talking to somebody in the chat, and they were saying, well, Gentiles it's the northern tribe. It's the northern tribe. And it's like, okay, well, how do you got to give me some exegesis. You got to give me some analytical an analytical prescription to that, because I'm not the type of person where you're gonna like just say, well, I said it. No, 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 no. Give me something that's scripturally based. I'll even let you something apocryphal. That's fine.
Wow.
Give me what you can give me, because I'll read the same thing. Not only do I read the same thing, listen, I have access to JSTOR, I have access to EBSCO, I have access to all the things that Dante brings on out. I just don't go in depth with Dante, but I'll go back and I'll see, okay, let me just kind of review some things. Let me see where his sources had led to. And as a people, we become very intellectually lazy. And it's not really our fault that we're intellectually lazy. It's just because we haven't had that training to be able to have a good intestinal fortitude to analyze what's being put in front of us. Because if something sounds good, if something sounds, that sounds like where I want to be. Because you got to understand, the same thing that Jeff Durbin is doing, they're just playing off of emotionalism, because emotionalism has worked for 400 years. So why are you going to stop something that's worked for 400 years?
I think they're dead serious, though. The way he's talking, I mean, he's speaking it like this is their doctrine, this is their belief, they feel this is their life. Racism and Christianity is as American. It's all, it's all rolled into one. It's you can't really separate it. It's like a conjoined twin or something. If you took it apart, it wouldn't have legs or something. I mean, I shouldn't say it, but I'm speaking of America.
That's true.
Not a person.
There's actually, and I'm gonna show this one first before I show Jeff Durbin, because I did some research while I was in the gym. When I'm working out, I actually do pretty good research.
Were you on the treadmill?
What is
elliptical?
It? Elliptical.
Oh, okay.
I do that for like 45 minutes.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's rough though. Pray for me. Pray for me. Today I thought I was gonna hit the ground. But I was looking up critical race theory. And that's one of the biggest issues that that evangelicals have an issue with. And if you know anything about critical race theory, it delves into the Black community and the things that we deal with and we're fighting against. And everything that we're doing is a part of that whole concept of critical race theory. White evangelicalism can't handle it, period. So I ran across this guy, and his name is Bo Sanders.
Bo Sanders.
And I'm gonna show him before we go into to Jeff Durbin.
Okay.
Let me show his thing real quick. Hold on. All right. So he explains why white evangelicals cannot handle critical race theory. He gives an amazing breakdown. And let me go. I'm looking at the chat too. I have to monitor it since I ain't got no way. I got one.
Tia is on there. She great.
I'm getting ready to make her a mod.
Oh yeah, she deserves it. She's a beautiful soul.
Yep, that means she gonna delete. As soon as she see Cherry, she gonna delete. I'm just saying. Tia, type something so I can make sure I made you a mod. Just type. You gonna type something. I know in a minute. But let's go into it real quick. Let me do something else before we do that, because I want to let everybody understand what critical race theory is.
Yes, I need to know what that is.
And we'll go. The way I explain it is like.
Let me mute myself.
I'll
talk through your picture.
No.
I want no people be talking.
No, I don't mind. I'm trying to find one that's not long, really long.
So this just breaks down what the critical race theory means.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see. Y'all. Bear with me. I wish I had already pulled it up and listened to it, but I think this can give a pretty decent.
Bear with you. I'm just messing with
you. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Vicky, y'all, the definition of critical race theory. We're going to go into this to Bo's the Bose guys' concept of why white evangelicals can't handle it. All right, here we go.
Oh, what is critical race theory?
Don't judge me. My favorite song is is Estelle. And y'all see Estelle pop up on my screen. So I'm gonna be talking about Sister E, listening to that R&B. I love music, so I'm just messing with y'all. Let me start it. So, what is critical race theory?
What is critical race theory? The answer is critical race theory, or CRT, is a theoretical framework in the social science that examines society and culture as they relate to categorization of race, law, and power. Hi, thank you so much for being part of this video.
Okay, so
if you find this video really helpful,
what it is? It goes
you
into the
got to support us by clicking on
sciences of, and that wasn't good. Hold on, let me find a good one. I had one right here. I'm gonna go here. Let's see. And this one isn't long. Brief description of critical race.
We'll see how.
So she's gonna explain it, and she doesn't look like me, family. She doesn't look like us, so let me see.
Here we go. We'll test my knowledge. I've been taught this in about a year or so. Okay, so Adrian Dixon apparently put this together, but it looked pretty good. So here's the background. I did, and law school was 20 years ago for me, and I did read Derek Bell, and I actually took a class called Racism, and American Law, and so I think I was probably at that front end 20 years ago where this discussion was happening. I don't think this has been around super long. It's definitely like post-civil rights period.
I wish they would get to the point.
CRT here it's part of the intersectionality. Does that term mean? Everybody here knows what that term is.
So these are good. They long, but critical race theory is dealing with the social structure and how it impacts us as a Black community.
Okay.
And how the theory of the things we have to do to survive as a social group, as a culture, as a race, dealing with racism, dealing with pretty much just dealing with racism, period. And the structure of racism and how racism impacts our community, how we are in the neighborhoods we live in, to the foods we eat, to how our families interact, and we're looking at why are we here, and we understand that it's the system that brought us here by way of slavery, by way of redlining, by way of Jim Crow. All that has impacted our community and put us in the state that we're in right now. And with that theory, you're trying to figure out how to deal with it. One, two, how to make society see it from a whole and how it's impacting us. What can we do to fix it? We got to deal with the past. So that's that whole CRT. Now with that, white evangelicals can't deal with it, period. So I'm gonna go to Bo, because Bo gives you a good understanding of critical race theory as well. I want to meet him because he gave a great analogy, or not an analogy, but he gave his viewpoint of why white evangelicals are having a hard time with this. But we really know what they have a problem with. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let me see. Well, I ain't gonna give him that because here we go. Now.
Oh, there is Bo.
Not everyone is thrilled about the presence and work of critical theory, and specifically critical race theory. And I get it. As I said many times, CRT is not for everyone. Now, having said that, I think it's important to distinguish between two very different groups who are concerned about critical race theory. The first is people who actually understand CRT and have a fundamental or philosophical objection to it. The second group is people who don't really like it, but they don't really know that much about it. They couldn't explain it to you. They haven't taken the time really to look into it, but they take exception to its posture and tone. I think that both groups have a legitimate gripe, but they're very different from each other.
So can y'all hear this?
Let me see if anyone's listening.
Can y'all hear?
Yeah. You want us to type 1?
Well, type 1 if you can hear. Because it's kind of low. And also, do y'all understand what critical race theory is now? Okay.
CRT.
Yep. Critical race theory. It's just
Milek of the Earth said Pat Robertson said we were destroying Christianity. I think I said his name right.
White evangelicals are having a hard time.
We're destroying Christianity. We're doing it, those Israelites.
It ain't
those
the
black people.
It's the whole black. Okay, so they can hear. So I'm gonna start back. So let me see.
And so I want to look at their actual concerns. I've talked before about critical race theory. I've said it, the beauty of critical race theory is one video you can watch. The upside of critical race theory, how it's going to save us. It's our salvation from bad religion. But today I want to talk about the concerns about critical theory. So this first group that I mentioned actually knows what critical race theory is up to and objects to it at the foundational premise. The basis is the address in oppression. Critics bemoan the initial division between oppressed and oppressor, and they say, why would you begin there? What a terrible place to start. You'll divide people up in hurtful ways. You make primary someone's group identity as a victim when that only feeds their feeling of victimization and marginalization. It seems to this educated group that you will never build anything healthy or helpful for prioritizing and highlighting someone or a group's disadvantage and alienation. That's not a constructive way to proceed. To these critics, and they argue that it will never deliver you to a place of empowerment or productivity if you are perpetually deconstructing the very systems or institutions that you feel excluded from or want to participate in. Playing the victim card in their mind is a bad hand and will never help you win the game. That's a legitimate concern. It's an actual disagreement. Participating in the oppression Olympics, as they say, is a recipe for continued victim mentality and ongoing marginalization. The mentality behind critical race theory is feeding yourself on the negative, according to these studied critics. If you want a better life, you want to improve your community, if you want to have a seat at the table, there are better ways to do it than focusing on the deficit and highlighting the deficiencies in the system. Which brings us to our second group of critics, those who don't like the tone or the posture. This popular and growing concern is with the general mentality and big picture approach of critical race theory. This group doesn't really understand critical theory, but just doesn't like its attitude. Are things perfect? No. But are they getting better? Yes. So let's focus on that and continue progress towards, instead of causing more division and animosity. These less knowledgeable, let's call them opponents, have a core objection to critical theory's obsession with rummaging through the past to find injustice and even atrocities. They see history as a long arc that bends towards justice. They love the Hallmark version of MLK, and they fundamentally object to viewing history as a problem and a limitation. We can't, they argue, go back and fix the past, so let's just move on and make things better now. This actually is a legitimate concern because critical theory does begin with the conviction that something is deeply wrong and a problem to be addressed. It's not fun or cheery or optimistic. It is critical and pessimistic in its tone and posture. One of its founding members, Walter Benjamin, viewed history as an accumulating series of atrocities that pile up at the feet of the angel of history, who was facing backwards, trying desperately to resist the accumulating pile of these catastrophic events, which critical theory then sorts through in order to account for and catalog and attend to their consequences. This is not a fun way to look at the past, and it's not a cheery way to talk about how we got here or where we've arrived. Now, having said that, there's an important distinction to be made at this point. Those who don't like critical theory also have a pre-existing condition to be generally against things like social justice warriors or liberals in general, poor meism, playing the victim, snowflake culture, and every kid gets a participation trophy, just in general. I became very aware of this cynicism in 2015 and 2016 as I got to travel around the country and speak with different audiences. There was an across-the-board general sense of disdain for those who are on the other side of the aisle. So I just want to acknowledge that there is an actual disagreement about critical theory and critical race theory. It's not just a matter of educating the masses or listening to the other side's perspective. There are fundamental differences about foundational assumptions. Not all critical theory's critics can articulate what critical race theory actually wants. It may not even be that open to hear what its practitioners are saying. They reject the premise outright, just right out of hand, to the presumptions and assumptions that critical theory is based on. They refuse to concede the initial point of viewing some groups as oppressed and blaming the oppressors. Take exception to both its goals and its initial starting point, and I get that. I always begin by saying that critical theory is not for everyone. I don't think that everyone should do it, and I don't think that it should be the predominant view. Here's a computer analogy that might help. Critical theory is not an operating system that can run the whole machine. It's a diagnostic tool. It's like a program that looks for viruses and debugs the system. It's not the game, it's the referee. It's an internal affairs task force that's looking for corruption. It's not the business or the bank, it's an auditor. If you're expecting it to be the whole thing, then you have misunderstood what it is up to. By the same token, its critics and despisers are like a king who objects to the presence of a jester in the court. That's the entire point of the jester, to mock, to point out inconsistencies, to level the playing field, and to expose the ridiculous elephant in the room, and to help people see that the king has no clothes on. Is it objectionable? Sure. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. Is it needed? Yes.
Will there be
So
tears?
when critics object and try and defend the status quo and tell critical theorists to back off, get in line, knock it off, and settle down, we're doing exactly what you would expect from people who benefit from the system as it currently exists. All they're saying is, I don't like it when you name the dysfunction, expose the hidden assumptions.
I like that, what Frank Smith said.
Doubt my motives, call into question my underlying values or priorities. It makes me uncomfortable and even angry. That, however, is the point of critical theory, to make visible the invisible, or as critical theory refers to it, ideology. The goal of critical theory is threefold: to examine, to expose, and to advocate for change. Because the point of critical theory, after all is said and done, is not just to explain the world, but to change it to a more equitable, just, and beneficial system for those who have been historically marginalized and disadvantaged. It makes total sense why those in the king's court would object to that. So resisting the agenda of critical theory is a no-brainer, as they say. My point is that this is not a lack of understanding, although there may be a lack of understanding built into it. This is an actual disagreement, and it sort of makes sense. I hope that has been helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts.
So when I heard him explain it like that, and I know it was kind of low, it clicked. And if you've ever worked in IT, it's not the operating system It's the virus protection software to fix the operating system. Meaning,
like if there's a bug, you're saying, like if there's a bug in it,
and they're
it's to
fixing
fix
it.
it.
Look, and see, when you're dealing with stuff like that, the first thing when you do something like put something out to fix a bug, first it's got to find the issue. Once it finds the issue, it isolates it and it kills it, so it won't cause any more. It won't infect the system anymore. And what it is you look at it like the system itself is broken. Now we got, as a people are trying to figure out why is the system broken? Well, if the system is broken because one, let's dig into the pile and look in history. Oh, it's racism. Racism is the issue. That's the bug. So we got to find this bug, isolate it, and kill it. But guess what? The bug now has gotten so. If you know anything about a bug, you have to catch it before it evolves and it start attaching to the core, to the main core of the system. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't isolate it early enough, it can infect the system to the point where the whole system is dead. You got to wipe the drive out and start all over again. Did I explain it right, Karis?
Yeah. So, I'm not going to go too in depth, but basically, yeah, it's layering. It's layering, so you have a layer to get to a layer to get to a layer. That's called a defense in depth. The problem is they don't know what to defend because they're not trying to go too deep.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, it's so deep to the point that it has infected the core of the system. Yep. That if we kill the bug, we're gonna kill the system.
That's right.
But however, wasn't the system made by them? So it's like a Bill Gates solution type of a thing. It's created. And they put this thing, they kind of ushered it in. It's so entrenched. It's hard to separate because, and then they're going to come up with a CRT, a solution, and use all this fancy mumble jumble, but still it's racism. They live off of it. They're thriving from it. They're benefiting from this.
Yep. And the thing is,
it's systemic. It's all across the board. Mm-hmm. It's medical apartheid. It's educational. It's everywhere we turn, we're being programmed for nothingness. Like I still remember just as a child, just how you're programmed. We are being programmed and set up for kind of failure. It's horrible.
Well, listen, see, the programming has worked because the setup for failure has already been demonstrated. And if you see that demonstration is in the demographics of our community, within our economic demographics, our legislative, societal, we're at the bottom of the bottom. And the sad thing is we had to actually hit rock bottom spiritually for us to understand there's a problem. And see, when we came off of this boat, off of these ships in 1619, what it was actually showing is we were in the process of becoming destroyed because the enemy finally had us in the trap. So just like in a couple of the comment sections I had saw, I wanted to point him on out. Okay, so that was Tia Thompson, man. That thing's gonna mess me up. I'm gonna call you Tia. There you go. Like T-Bob Tia. I'm taking it way back. But yeah, it really isn't racism. It's really Psalms 83. It's all in action because see, the thing is, they consulted against our hidden ones, and we're hidden. They don't want to even talk to us. They don't even listen. We're playing a game of hide and seek, and we're the only ones hiding because nobody's trying to find us.
Nobody's trying to find us.
Nobody's trying to find us. Oh, you Israel? No. You Israelites? No. You had some Jewish. Had customs of Judaism? No. But see, what that does is that breaks out that cognitive dissonance. And that's a powerful force because the cognitive dissonance is associated with Christianity. Now, even though this nation wasn't firmed on the bedrock of Christianity, the idea and concept of the Roman derived Christianity is what this nation was really built on. And that is what you continue to see happen right now. And that's why the churches, they've ultimately failed, because that's where everything had been promulgated, right?
Yeah.
So just like, I don't know about you all, I grew up AME, you know, and but some of the times I do non-denominational. Now let me just tell you, you maybe had one or two white folks show up in the AME, and I think they just got lost one day and just said, I just need to go to
wandered in there.
I gotta find Jesus this morning. They rolled up into that church.
They came up there. Yeah.
So
They can be like, what's all these black folks doing?
That's
You know?
Yeah.
But we've seen that before. And then you go to some of your churches, you know, that some of your friends would invite you to. And it's like, well, man, I'm the only black person on in there. Then you get looked at all funny.
Yep.
You know,
is that Jeff Durbin's church there?
Yep. Yep.
I don't see any of us in there.
No, they don't have us in there. But the thing is, I look at the white evangelicalism as being, because the system is the virus. Being honest, the system was broken when they put it in place. It was virus filled because it was an old system put in a new environment.
Well, Brother Yacoba believes that it was built that way, and I kind of think it was kind of established that way. It's, you know, it's all, you know, I know we are, you know, fall under the curses, and we're living out the curses.
Yep.
But I think it's all part of it, and Yah has allowed this stuff, and it, you know, the more they afflict us, it's like either our hearts are going to go hardened, or are we going to turn our hearts, you know, like, you know, when I begin to discover, like, man, this stuff hurts. This is horrible. I mean, I began to feel it, you know, what was happening to our people, and I never really even thought of us as our people, you know, and that's my new language now. You know, our people, Israel, we're a nation, we're a community, we are family. You know, these things are new to me, but it's becoming, I don't know, I want to say realer. It doesn't make any sense, but it's becoming real, you know. That's my spirit.
Yeah, you're right. It is real. It's so, the system is so broken that the system was built upon religion. A
fake religion. I mean, you know, they co-opted that religion. I mean, well, the way it should be, it was co-opted, as things usually are, I would say.
Because every time they went to a nation, they claimed that they were going over there to teach Christianity to savages. Every time they went to a nation. So ultimately, the system is, when you look at it, deep Eurocentric Christianity. Period. That's how I see it. Like, the system is because it gives them. He gave another point to explain, but it's like 12 minutes long. But it's like white evangelicals wanted to disconnect from it to the point that they've lost track to what it is. And when you bring it up now, they're so behind times that they don't understand that there are still issues out here. And they're looking at situations like, I think all of us have heard this. Well, you don't deal with racism. You got a good job. There's racism in levels. You don't understand it.
It's on every level.
Yes.
Every level. I got into it with someone that worked that just, you know, I didn't really get into it, but, and then it was they came up because we were being let out of work early because they thought there was going to be a riot in the area. I didn't care, but I was like, y'all triggering me. I got to go.
Yeah.
You know, but the girl, you know, who's our color was like, we're not the only ones who've gone through something.
Well, that's the you gotta remember.
Okay, that was. I'm sorry, you're not supposed to make faces on camera, but it bothered me. I had to keep praying. I was like, oh.
Well, let me tell you something. I look at people like that, like there's a system that's broken, and I have to look at things from IT eyes, because then I can see it. Let's say I'm using a system and I'm used to the system, and it's doing some of what I wanted to do, but it's still not totally delivering what I need from it. But because I'm so used to and comfortable with it, and I don't want to take the system down, I'm just going to bear through it, and it's fine. While someone's telling you that, the system is broken, we need to take the system down and fix it. No, it's fine. I don't want to get it fixed. That's how I look at our people when they become so embedded into it that they are so comfortable with the system that they see anything and any possible situation to fix it as a disruption to their life, even though the system is still hard on them and they're having to work harder. They're used to it and they don't want to change.
They don't want to change.
That's the
mind. The mind is shackled.
Yep.
What do they call that? That's acceptance, right?
And then what is that other word when you get kidnapped? What is that called? When you get kidnapped or
Stockholm syndrome, or I can't.
Yes, Stockholm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but let me show y'all this.
Yeah, show the Jeff Durbin.
Because the thing is, now it's being masked that they're trying. If I haven't done a lot of research on Marxism, but Marxism is communism.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is saying that anything woke or Black related is a part of Marxism. And my biggest thing is, I said, are they going to begin to start another wave of the communist movement? And if anybody remembers it, that's when they were putting a lot of people in trial. You have a lot of people, going to jail for being considered to be communists. Now what they're trying to do is tag this movement as being Marxism. And he said something in the other thing that I listened to, the Bo guy. He said Marxism is the boogeyman to critical race theory. Whenever you talk about racism and talk about fixing issues within the Black community and separating, they consider that as being Marxism. And everybody is afraid of being called a communist, that everybody's like, but it's got now where we're just like, I don't care what you call us. This is what it is. It needs to be fixed. So he said, but let me go ahead. I'm sorry, my mic is doing something. I'm going to start.
Worldview issues in terms of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. It's amazing when you hear that being shouted in the streets. The average Christian seeing the flames and the cocktails being thrown, hears Black Lives Matter and goes, I like that. Because I think they do. Because I have a worldview that makes sense about that claim, Black Lives Mattering. I like that. Makes sense in the biblical worldview. I don't know why they're saying it, and maybe they're saying it in a different way than I would mean it because of their worldview. And it actually is the case. Many of you guys are aware of the fact. Just go to the official website of Black Lives Matter. They confess and rejoice over the fact that they are trained Marxists. Trained Marxists talking about Black Lives Matter. Now, if you know the history of Marxism and you hear them talking about anything, you should be a little squinty-eyed. Trained Marxists, they rejoice in this, that they are not just Marxists, but trained Marxists. It makes sense as to why we're seeing what we're seeing, by the way. If you know the history of Marxism, you say, okay, now I'm starting to understand a little bit better. You see, trained Marxists understand that they bring about their revolution. And by the way, revolution for the Marxists isn't getting back to the foundation, something that is true or objectively true, getting back to that point, as many early on in the war for independence would have said, there's truth out there, there's justice out there. We need to get back to that foundation. Revolutionaries in the Marxist sense are trying to get away from the foundation, objective truth. They're trying to create disorder. And so, of course, trained Marxists in history have all been all about class conflict. Class conflict. Now, if you know the history of Marxism, you'll know that as they tried to get it into America early on, they did what they did before, and they tried to have it the rich versus the poor. The rich versus the poor. One problem, though, in a capitalistic society that's benefited from the Christian worldview, when you have people that are benefiting from the free market and private property, and they're actually able to eat, it's hard to pit rich versus poor, so it didn't work out so well. So more class conflict is instituted. So what do we have in American history? Well,
The Marxists get here and they say, let's create class conflict, rich versus poor. All right, let's also create the class conflict, gay versus straight. You know, by the way, that they've stated this plainly in their materials. You can read it. Read.
One thing I want to say, y'all know I pause in the midst of certain ones because they'll say, people say certain things that just bug me. He's playing it as if this is created. Because you notice he keeps saying, they created class system, they created rich versus poor. So what you're saying is the feeling that we're having right now is created. Am I missing that? Did I miss that?
No, you're not. And that's what they do, because again, that is the straw man argument. They don't have anything else. See, they look at this awakening like we done lost control. It's like it's a Nat Turner's revenge.
Correct.
Of like mass proportion, because now every black person is talking about it. I was at my son's soccer practice yesterday. We're black folks, we're talking about this. And white folks, they're avoiding it because it's like, look, they can't really interject, because here's the problem. They don't have any ammunition to get to where they can try to say, well, that's not, and then you pull out your phone and then you scroll down on Hebrew Sphere, and then you go into a discussion group, and it's like, well, tell me this. Tell me what all these books are saying. Tell me what all these historical references are saying. Oh, well, can you explain this? And it's hard for them, because you got to remember, it's the easiest defense that they have right now is, well, as long as I play dumb and ignorant, then guess what? I don't have to worry about judgment.
Yep.
I'm dumb. I'm pleading ignorance.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for us, right? It doesn't work for us, but it works for them, because you got to remember, we're held at a different standard than what they're held at. So that just shows, and that just promotes it. And right now, listen, they know that everything is messing up. Mm-hmm. They tried to come out with, well, COVID's going away and COVID's going down. While Trump is trying to say, because Trump is really, you got to remember, you have to think about this. This is Jeremiah 51 in action. Trump is literally the spiritual figure of the United States, of Babylon. Yep. So what he's trying to say and what he's trying to prove is that, see, we're not under judgment. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Get back to work.
Back to normal.
Yeah. And these folks are dying, and they know that they're dying. We see all the articles.
Man, you just said something and somebody said it and it just hit me. I'm going to put this right here. Continue on. But this right here, it clicked with me. And it clicked. Continue on.
Is it that Neanderthal thing?
No,
it was the spiritual, because you got to remember, we're in the spiritual force, but you got, like I've always said this, and I've had some videos on this. The spiritual dome that was over us has been broken down. It's been broken down. So now that dome has been broken down, guess what? That means that their empire is falling. But Trump, he is the actual spiritual leader of everything, of the nation. Nations have spiritual leaders. Trump is the spiritual leader. So the spiritual leader is trying to say there's no punishment. There's no judgment. Everything is fine. Because we're past the dog whistles now. This is now the spiritual whistles. Okay, well, that resonates with me. I'm a conservative Christian white male, and I believe Trump, and this is just gonna blow on over. And then here's the reality. The reality is we're now again getting judged harder with this COVID-19. Folks are getting it a second time, and they're getting it worse because it never leaves your body. It just does, it does everything that it said it was going to do and stay with you and then matriculate in your body. Oh, and by the way, it gets worse for those that carry a Neanderthal variant in your DNA, in your genes. So this is some of the things that they have to contend with, and it's not looking great for them right now. But again, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. We're wrestling against those spiritual principalities
Yep.
in
Yep.
high places. And this is what is showing right now.
Yep. And what someone said, Frank Smith, and I can't find it. I think they won't allow me to post what he said, but I'll say it. He said, Jeff Durbin is an articulate neo-Nazi. So remember, before the Holocaust, and I know some people don't believe what it is. I'm not getting into that. So thanks for that. But when you look at it, Hitler came at a time when there was issues within Germany. And there was an issue between the Jews and the non-Jews in Germany. And with that being said, they were going through financial issues because they had to pay reparation back to what? France? Was it France? Yeah, reparation back to France. And they were mad because they felt like the Jews had snitched on them and got them in the position that they're in. Not snitched, but they were at war, and they said, I got to go back and do my research, but the Jews had turned their backs on them, and ultimately they lost World War I. I think it was, One. To make sure I'm right, Blacktastic, because the historian is in here. I'm not a historian. But ultimately, Hitler started out like this, with a small community that started, whispering in their ear about the Jewish community. What's going on right now? There's a religion. And there's a religion now here that's saying Black Lives Matter and talking about critical race theory is putting us in this position. What's going on? White evangelicals are fighting with us by way of the political system which they live up under, which financially sustains them. Yeah, for whatever reason, something happens. And we've been saying this, if something happens with the financial system, Trump don't get in office, guess who's going to be the problem? Us. That's the same thing happened over in Germany. Hitler started out on a platform like this, and I'm not calling him this because I don't know the man, but this is how it started.
That's an interesting theory, yes.
And when I looked at it and when he said it, it clicked. He said he's not even a neo-Nazi. That's how Hitler started. You got him and James White that's coming against the Black community, period. They're going to treat, if you say woke as being communism, that's a communist statement. That's Marxism. That's the reason we're in the position. Is being Black is going to, it's going to almost be like saying woke and being Black is illegal. That's all it takes is one situation.
That's all it takes.
One situation.
And if you identify as an Israelite, then they're going to demonize and criminalize you.
Yes, but what's so crazy, it's not just the Israelite community.
Anybody all together, yeah.
Anybody under the banner of any form of an awakening, if it be the Israelite community, if it be the woke church community, if it be the Kemetic community, anybody that says that they're woke.
They're woke, and they don't want to go for this systematic racist structure and speak out against it.
So this right here is
I hear you.
This right here is something that we as a people, now if woke church want to argue with us because we Israelite, that's fine. Let them do that. We got to keep our eyes on this because this right here is the telltale sign of where everything shifts. The white evangelical movement is no different than the system before they started going for the Jewish community in Germany. And we're going to have to be very careful with this. That's all it is. But now let's listen to his speech. Now I realize that Hitler was a speaker. They fell in love with him because at that time they were going through financial issues. They were going through their own depression because Germany had a very strong economy before the wars. They had their economy was just about the same as the U.S. And then guess what? When it fell apart, guess who they pointed at? If this falls apart, guess who they're gonna point at? So
yeah.
Let's see.
Solomonsky and all the rest, you'll see that this has been planned for the longest time. What you're seeing is the result of labor and work and consistency with their worldview, and shame on us for not fighting back sooner.
You see that crowd, y'all? Y'all see that entire crowd. We're in a state where the financial system is falling apart. They're losing jobs. They don't have what they need. Look at that crowd. But I'm going to keep it going.
Why is it they don't even know Jesus? They believe that all they are is matter and motion, and they're willing to die for what they believe. What are we doing? What are we doing? Shame on us. But they believe in a worldview called dialectical materialism. I cannot even begin to unpack this absurdity before you today. But they believe in dialectical materialism. What you need to understand at the bottom of this is their worldview claims the claims of essentially evolution, matter in motion. Dialectical materialism for the trained Marxist in Black Lives Matter is they believe in a materialist view of reality. It's matter in motion. It's stuff moving around. No God, no purpose, no order. You are matter. That's their position. And in terms of the dialectical part, don't get lost in this. I know all this is stupid. Don't get lost in this, but I know in terms of the dialectical, we say, what does that mean? I'm going to read to you Engels, a quote from Engels, so you get an idea, and I want you to consider the answer the fool according to their folly. They say, we need to do this. These lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. No justice, no peace. Well, that's interesting for matter and motion to be making claims like that. Engels said, quote, for dialectical philosophy, nothing is final, absolute, sacred. I'm going to give you just 5 seconds to think about that. Do you hear it? Answer the fool according to their folly. Engels says about dialectical philosophy, nothing is final, absolute, or sacred. Is that absolutely true? Is that final? But notice the sacred parts. Nothing is final, nothing is absolute, nothing is sacred. For dialectical materialists, there are no absolutes and nothing is sacred. So, let's test it. Black lives matter? Nothing is final, nothing is absolute, nothing is sacred. We're trained Marxists. Black lives matter. No, they don't. Not according to your position. Not according to a position that says nothing is final, nothing is absolute, nothing is sacred. Also, bigger question here we need to ask the Black Lives Matter crowd. Why does matter matter? Why does matter matter? You see, where's the borrowed capital here?
See, and we've been saying this, they're going to use Black Lives Matter as the engine to come for us. Because if you really look at Black Lives Matter as a whole, it is dysfunctional. I understand the point, but when you look behind the veil, it's not. I wouldn't be a part of Black Lives Matter because I know what's behind it. But I understand the concept. But because I understand the concept doesn't necessarily mean that I back the movement, because the movement itself is questionable. This Black Lives Matter thing is going to be the catalyst to start something. That's all they needed. That's all it is. That fuel to that engine. They're already paranoid. They're already scared. They're already looking at, we ain't got jobs. Because think about it. They don't have no jobs. The unemployment rate is the worst that it has ever been. They don't want to admit it, that it's worse than we're literally in a depression.
Yes. Yes.
Now, the Most High Yah has his hands on his few because I praise him, because some of us got jobs and we eat and we good. But when you look at the news, they're losing jobs.
Yes.
They're afraid. And what does somebody who's afraid do? They're going to try to, they're going to attack.
And lash out. Yes. Yes. Yes.
He is going to be the fuel. I got a feeling y'all, we're gonna come back. If I come back a year, he ain't. I apologize, but he is gonna be that fuel. He's young, he's eager, he's under the banner of white evangelicalism, and they're gonna say they're gonna be doing things. And I think it's what Bible verse is that in John? I think it's John when they said they're gonna be doing things to people in the name of God, and it's not gonna be God.
No. Well, they're little G God or whatever.
Yeah. If they're going to think that they're doing things for God, and that's going to be, and I forgot what book it is. Lord, bring it back to my remembrance. I'm going to look it up, but I'm going to keep playing this. But pay attention to his mannerisms. Pay attention. And then go look at Hitler. Hitler was energetic. And everybody was, if you look at old videos, everybody was just in like awe of him. Like, wow, in awe of him. And he going with it. He going.
I was thinking at any moment he was going to say, hi, do that little sign.
Yes. So I'm going to keep going.
Here, we can say to the Black Lives Matter Marxist, you're not supposed to believe that black man's in the image of God. You're not supposed to believe that he has value and purpose and that black people are sacred. That's my worldview. I get to say that black people are sacred. I get to say that they're valuable because I have Christ. You have matter in motion, dialectical materialism. Matter doesn't matter in your worldview. It's borrowed capital. No creator-creation distinction in dialectical materialism. Humans are cosmic accidents. And what happens in this indifferent universe to people with black skin is irrelevant in their worldview and their perspective. What are they doing? They're sneaking over that foot, borrowing from Jesus in order to make coherent claims about their worldview, but they can't make it coherent. Here's the claim. Anything mattering is mine. Why? Because I have Jesus. I have a foundation to make sense of a world where I can say anything matters at all, or that human beings are valuable at all. You see, in my worldview, and this has been said before, but please hear it, there is one creator, God, one race, human, one blood, red, one problem, sin, and one solution, Jesus Christ. And I think a potent question to ask the Black Lives Matter Marxist, all Black Lives Matter? All Black Lives Matter? What about those black lives in the womb? The most unsafe place for black lives isn't the back of a police cruiser. It isn't even in Chicago. The most unsafe place for black lives is in the wombs of black mothers. Is that the truth?
A lot of people think that you need a big audience or it takes tons of time to create an online course, but you can actually get started so much more easily and quickly than.
Wait a minute.
You might think.
Okay.
My name's
Y'all, they may be doing stuff to my channel. Hold on. They already been attacking everybody's channel, so.
Then you need to say it like the prophets say it and do what the prophets do. We need to be heralding the truth of the biblical worldview in the midst of this conversation, and we need to stop pulling punches. Tell the truth.
Oh, okay. I'm a little disturbed by that. And you know, the thing is, it's very shocking that, all right, the mother's womb that's the most dangerous. Now here's the problem. They give the symptoms, the topical overview, but they don't tell, okay, well, where did that come from? Margaret Sanger coming to what? The black churches?
Yes.
Now this is what's going on, but it's your women that were going so crazy about the abortion rights. issues.
Yep.
You know, now here's the thing. Have abortions gone down amongst African American women, quote unquote? Actually, it has. And there's statistics behind that. But their birth rates are like 1.7. It's non-sustainable. So instead of, lecturing us, I think he needs to turn that lecture onto his own people.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. Look, why are they concerned about us? They're not really concerned about Black Lives or Black Lives Matter. Here's the problem. If they cared about Black Lives Mattering so much, then guess what? Their ancestors wouldn't have put Christ on the cross or hung him on up. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's bottom line. But here's what we're seeing right now. They don't want to talk about white supremacy. So let me deflect. I can't talk about white supremacy, so let me deflect. Why do we even have a Black Lives Matter? Because y'all won't do anything about white supremacy.
Yep. That's key. And the very thing is this. I'm going to show y'all a scripture, and then I'm going to go to that one excerpt. I want us to hear that one part. But let me show y'all something. And it popped in my head when I heard it. And it says in John, I think it's John 16:2, it says, they will put you out of the synagogue. What are they telling woke church? They excommunicating you.
Yeah.
In fact, the time is coming when anyone who kills you will think they are offering a service to God.
Mm.
What are they doing right now? They're excommunicating anybody that says Black Lives Matter. And a lot of these, and he literally says this. And I'm trying to find. I think I have it. Let me find it. Where they're literally saying excommunicate them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're fighting. The thing is, we're Israel. We're trying to warn them. Hey, time to exit, y'all. It's time. We're warning them. It's time to exit. They don't want to exit. They want to be a part of a system.
Yeah, stay here.
And be a part of a sick system that only the Most High can come in and tear it apart and start all over again. And bring us back to his system.
Well, we're stiff-necked, so there's going to be a majority that's going to be coming over, kicking and screaming. And there are folks that are coming on over because, honestly, this awakening thing is still happening. It's happened more because, the trickle that started 10 years ago has now become a massive flood. And the reason it's a flood is because, listen, they're talking about it. You got to understand, once they start talking about it, it's a problem. It wasn't a problem when it was just, this is just something nuanced. It was something taboo. We kind of would say our thing, hold our peace, being a little, niche groups and meetings, but the problem is we're blowing up, now if you're going into different doctrine, that's where things, start to kind of, it's looking like a worn out, jeans, things are getting tattered. But the more that we're understanding and coming together as a people, the stronger the fabric is getting. And they're understanding that this fabric is starting to get strong. It's no longer one or two stitches. Now we're talking about, a blanket that's being crocheted. This thing is starting to take on legs, and they don't have any way to control the legs, because here's the problem. It's a spiritual matter, and they can't control spirit. It's impossible for flesh to control the spirit.
Yep.
I need a leader. We need a leader. You don't need a leader. You're just trying to find somebody to kill.
That's find some people.
It's not going to kill the movement. That's the problem that they're having.
You know what? What I found kind of disturbing is because the number of the children and the young people, young adults or whatever that were in the audience. It's just like when you see those pictures of the 50s and you see the hangings and stuff, and the children that are there and the way they look, with their eyes at someone who's being hung, and it's like they don't care. It's like it's so inhumane. I don't know. It's otherworldly to me, but I see them as just just perpetuating the same kind of attitude towards Black people, because he's speaking out against what he thinks is, well, he probably knows better, but that it's a movement or whatever. But they can see it as just speaking out against Black people in general. It doesn't seem like, one blood, one this and one that. He's the one that, well, I don't see color. It just seems like he has that type of persona. Like, well, I don't see color. We're all one blood until we get to church and or whatever, or to the banking institution, or to the doctor, or educationally. Because you guys were just migrant workers anyway. You just came over here to help us out.
Yeah, no such thing as slavery.
No, and you stopped helping us, so you're just lazy.
Yeah.
Ever since you stopped working for free, you bums.
Yeah, this is just indentured servitude.
Just indentured servitude. I don't know what you're complaining about. You always want something free.
Yeah,
or a free ride.
Yeah, and I really believe that's what's going on. And Ben Change, thank you so much for the super chat. But that's
the mentality, though. They're perpetuating it, though. As they speak in the church like that. And this was a church, I suppose, I guess a conference or whatever, the rowdy media Christians or whatever.
And we're warning them. We're warning the apologetic community, saying, look, we argue with each other, but do y'all see big picture of what's going on? But because you don't see the eyes of the prophet, the things that we've been talking about, the prophecies, Ben Yehudi, they can catch these hands though. But
they gonna catch their hands. They gonna try Jesus.
They try Jesus and not supposed to eat. That's key.
Not me.
But the thing is, we're warning them, saying, "Hey, y'all, it's time to exit. This is prophecy." Oh no, this ain't prophecy. This is prophecy, people. Y'all see, the thing is, what's gonna catch people is certain people ain't gonna be prepared.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not gonna be prepared. So when their peers lash out at them, we long gone. We like, I'm done. I'm disconnected. But they are trying their best to say, y'all, look, this is the issue. Let's work together. They don't want to work with y'all. If they fix the system, it's going to impact them over. And I'm not talking about them as in all white. No, I'm not talking about white people. No. Because I have a love for some of my cool white friends. And but with that being said, we're talking about a system. Some people are so intertwined with the system, they're saying, wait a minute, I don't want these people to get access. No. That means I'm gonna have less access. Oh, wait, that's gonna take from the pot. Wait, hold on. Some of them don't want this to happen. And one thing is the white evangelical church does not. That's money. Mm-hmm. That's so much money. But here's the part of Jeff Durbin. Now, I think this is it right here. I have to find the one that Pat Christina posted. But he talks about the woke church. Look at this, y'all. And then hold on. I think I'm sharing it. Ruhama, tell me if I'm keeping you up. I'm saying it wrong. Say it again for me, because I can't. Oh wow. Say it one more time.
You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. You are fine.
Everybody gonna talk about me in that chat, y'all. I'm sorry. Don't talk about Sista E, because Sista E is horrible with names.
He was sure it says rowdy Christian media.
Don't talk about me, y'all. Be nice.
Don't
talk about me in a minute. Like, you can't get her name right. They hard on me. Don't do me like that. Okay, here we go.
Said and do what the prophets did. I want to be very careful about what I'm about to do, because I want you to understand why. Say what the prophets said and do what the prophets did. The rules in my house, you can ask my children, the rules in my house, a foul mouth is punished severely. My children never grew up in a house with a father with a foul mouth or was loose with his lips. Yeah. If I was to curse in front of my children would be shocked. I praise God for that, because before God saved me, I had a terrible, terrible mouth. Came from a wicked heart. It was constant. And God redeemed me. And one of the first things he did is he changed the way that I spoke. You can ask for references for my family or my church body. But we have to understand that there are different speed limits in different locations for a reason. One of the things one of my heroes, Doug Wilson, says is that there's a speed limit for the highway and a speed limit for the sidewalk. They're not the same for a reason. You have to be more aggressive in the one lane. Jesus shows us this as well. We know that Jesus was known as a friend of sinners. He loved tax collectors and prostitutes. People knew it. He hung out with them to the degree that he was slandered. People were calling him a drunkard and a glutton. But put Jesus into a fight, and Jesus, when dealing with spiritually dangerous things, Jesus tells the truth in hard ways. He used a serrated edge. Jesus calls people sons of hell. Jesus talks about people as whitewashed tombs, people full of dead, rotting corpses. You are dead. Jesus confronted people and warned them about hell. Jesus always told the truth. And when put Jesus into a fight, read Matthew 23, the meek and mild, sweet Jesus isn't there. He is confronting people who are endangering people's souls. I'll give you another example of how the prophets say things and how they do things. If you don't know this, I encourage you to get to know it. I think our evangelifish culture has lost sight of this. But this is how Ezekiel speaks about God's harlot wife. He says, Ezekiel 16:23, and after all your wickedness, woe, woe to you, declares the Lord God. You built yourself a vaulted chamber. This is what he's talking to his people. And made yourself a lofty place in every square. At the head of every street, you built your lofty place and made your beauty an abomination, offering yourself to any passerby and multiplying your whoring. You also played the whore with the Egyptians, your lustful neighbors, multiplying your whoring to provoke me to anger. Behold, therefore, I stretched out my hand against you and diminished your allotted portion and delivered you to the greed of your enemies. How sick, God says in verse 30, is your heart, declares the Lord God, because you did all these things, the deeds of a brazen prostitute, building your vaulted chamber at the head of every street and making your lofty place in every square. Yet you were not like a prostitute because you scorned payment. Did you catch that? It says you're different than other whores because you didn't even want to get paid. Adulterous wife who receives strangers instead of her husband. Men give gifts to all prostitutes, but you gave your gifts to all your lovers, bribing them to come to you from every side with your whorings. So you were different from other women in your whorings. No one solicited you to play the whore, and you gave payment while no payment was given to you. Therefore, you were different. Whew. That's powerful. Serrated edge, God telling the truth about a bride who goes and offers herself to all the pagan nations, but doesn't even receive a payment back. She's just multiplying her whorings, going out to all the pagan nations. So in light of these issues, BLM, LGBT, and the abortion issue, evangelifish, woke pastors,
Here you go.
you say homo lust is not a sin. Even
Okay, did he just say woke white evangelical pastor? Now, let's talk about homosexuality. How did it land on this soil? Talk about ancestors that were buck broken by
then.
By them.
By then.
So you're gonna sit here on your
High horse.
Wait. I loved how he tried to make the analogy of Ezekiel, but he doesn't understand Revelations 18 when they're talking about the whore. He doesn't understand Daniel. You know, and that's the problem. They don't really even understand where they're at in the word.
They don't understand the Bible. Everything is an analogy to them.
Exactly. So they don't understand. Look, Look, they made the nations what? Drunk off of their cup of wrath. What's the cup of wrath? The blood, sweat, and tears from us, which equates to the what? The dollars. And what do they not offer in return? Nothing. They give the money. You know how much money they give? They give over like $2 or $3 trillion a year.
That's why
the State Department.
Yep. That's why prophecy doesn't mean anything to them.
They don't even understand where they're at.
Because it's all about an analogy. Even when, that's why we have to be careful when you know, Black people get caught up in these churches and they tell them these are analogies. The 1,000-year reign is an analogy. 3 days and 3 nights is an analogy. When you make everything an allegory, it's not real to you. Meaning, revelation and wrath is not real to you. So you can do whatever. Everything, he made that entire book an allegory and turned it into a scripture that had a sermon that had nothing to do with the context of that.
Yeah.
Because even Christ said, look, Yeshua HaMashiach has said, look, they're going to be seeing but never seeing. They're going to be hearing but never hearing. Look, these folks, they're Romans chapter 10. We were given over to a foolish nation because you want to know why? Like, remember, you know how we will kind of crack jokes.
Yeah.
Think about it. And then you kind of have your co-workers that are the Caucasian type. They won't really get the jokes because you have to kind of just explain it to them and kind of carry their hand because that joke won't really make sense with them because they have a tough time with being able to handle allusion and how you allude to things.
Yeah.
So when you try to speak if it's not direct, it gets lost.
Yeah.
It's very lost. When you try to have an allegory of certain types, it gets very lost.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to understand that's really not in their nature to really know what's going on. And to be honest, I hate to say it, they really weren't built that way. But that's okay, because listen, the Most High loves those who love him.
Yeah.
And
he warned us ahead of time of what's
But you have to understand, see what we're looking at, we already knew years ago with Teo what was getting ready to come down the pike. Mm-hmm. And the thing is we weren't being especially Teo wasn't being declaratory about, hey, well, you know what, this is that, and if you don't buy into this, then you're gonna be killed. And let me make sure I find some white people to validate this.
Yeah.
There was no validation on this. It was, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen because this is what the scriptures say.
Yeah.
Was there any white person to validate this? No, because they're not trying to. No, I'm blind, deaf, and dumb to judgment. And then here comes COVID-19. Then here comes all of these things going on. I had just sent an email to Teo earlier today because there's now another variation of the swine flu affecting cattle, or swine.
Oh,
there's like a different variation of a coronavirus affecting swine in China where you're vomiting and having diarrhea.
Oh,
so imagine if that hits as another woe.
Yeah.
Man, you won't even die on your bed. You're going to die on the toilet.
Let me tell you something. If they wanted to,
it's bad.
Evangelicals march people out. They can catch them all on Sunday. They want to go into if let's say COVID is done and over with, and everybody in the church, if they ever wanted to corral us, that's all they have to do is go into the black church because it's so divided. That's one place that's centralized where you can march them out one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Huh.
The more I'm sitting there, the more I'm just like, this is dangerous.
It is dangerous.
It's very, and I'm gonna finish it, but this is very, very dangerous.
Even though Jesus said sin begins in the heart, you say we aren't under law, we're under grace. We don't need God's stipulated standards of justice. Yet you throw up your Marxist communist fists shouting, no justice, no peace. You've swallowed the member of the Marxists denying what God says about our unity and identity in the Messiah, and you teach people that our identity is in our color. Shame on you. You deny God's own word, accusing people of guilt for the sinful color of their ancestors. Thus, you invalidate the word of God for the sake of your woke bullshit. I could do this, by the way, more Pauline, if you like. You invalidate it for the sake of your scubala. Or I think if I want to be faithful and I want to say what the prophets say and do what they did, I need to be more like Ezekiel. The woke evangelical whore is a slut who lies down in the middle of a burning city, spreading her legs to the rioters and looters, spreading her legs to Marx, Engels, Zelensky, and Soros. Only she knows the history. Marxism and communism plunges nations into poverty. There's no money in this for her, but she wasn't looking for payment anyways. The evangelical woke slut is a slut whose behavior makes Cardi B's WAP look like performance art for preschoolers. Pray that God removes these pimps from the pulpit and fills it with prophets who will keep his bride pure and faithful. Let's pray.
Yeah, let's pray.
Well, if they're prophesying so much, how come they didn't prophesy what was going on in 2020 after this 400 years? You see what I'm saying? This the thing is, everything that they're doing and everything that they're saying, calamity is just going to be on them even more. So, you know, look, we don't have to actually even look. We don't really have to even do anything, because you're going to see something happen. You're going to see something happen, because here's the thing. Our mouths are the swords. Our mouths are the swords. How quickly did they have to mobilize and try and come together to say, oh, we're going to try and pass something after George Floyd when people were protesting in the streets? So,
yep, this right here is interesting, because they're on their last leg right now, and their savior is Trump.
mm-hmm.
Trump is not going to make it into office. We already know.
No.
I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it. And if he doesn't make it, that's what we got to look at. And it goes back to, was it John 16:2? They're going to be putting them out of the synagogues. What are they doing now? They're literally excommunicating anyone that calls themselves woke,
Mm-hmm.
in the church. So Eric Mason is excommunicated. Damian Richards is excommunicated. Nephew's excommunicated. All of them are excommunicated because they don't want to be affiliated with woke.
No.
But guess who the bigger problem is?
Yeah. Well, you know, the funny thing is, I kind of see him as, he's definitely going to be the chaplain for the Proud Boys.
That's Hitler. That's so crazy. Did you hear him say Soros?
Yeah.
QAnon talks about George Soros.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't even come out of this community. We don't care about that. It's the same bird.
Yes, it's all intertwined. I said, oh, here we go. Here we go. We're watching this before our eyes. And while Damien is mad at Berean, this is why we're saying y'all need to be mad at them, because what's about to go down, this is going to be on y'all's watch, not ours, because we told y'all, take care of y'all business. We're the ones that's standing up for y'all and exposing. They're not doing exposed videos on this, and people are sleeping. Yeah. They don't see the big picture. They too busy trying to rock them to sleep as well. They're not exposing this. So guess what? If Jeff Durbin builds an audience, and I'm not saying Jeff Durbin may be the next Hitler, because it may be someone else that's going to come right behind him. But they're sitting there and they're watching, and it takes one thing. Trump not getting in office, economy crash, anything. It takes anything. Game over. and it's gonna be on y'all's watch. This man is sitting here pushing hate in a congregation. So it goes back into John 16:2. They're going to be saying they're doing things because they're serving God or serving Yah. But y'all been sitting here, y'all chilling and y'all watching this, and y'all too busy saying, well, we sick of the Israelites. They making all this money because they mad at Berea because he making money in the super chats. And they got these numbers. Y'all arguing about stupid stuff because we not looking at numbers. Y'all arguing about stupid stuff because we calling us, you mad because we calling ourselves Israel. I'm not calling that part stupid. No, that's not stupid. But about our numbers, that's meaningless. Why you got this dude over here that's almost like Hitler? Man, I'm done. This rap. That's all I got to say. We watching this dude. I'm watching him with all four of my eyes.
Wait. Why they gotta be pocket watching black folks? You know what I'm saying? Why they pocket watching black folks?
What y'all doing? What y'all up to? What'd you say? Black folk? What matter? What?
Man, do you see how crazy that is? But see, the problem is they understand. Look, we're pushing something. It's not. Look, if something that we're pushing is of man, it will fail. But if it's of the Most High, then guess what? You're just gonna get ran over, right? You're in the way, you're gonna get ran over because this is what the Most High is doing. Nobody came on out here and just said all of a sudden, well, you know what, I want to do that Israelite stuff. You know, it sounds good. You know, I want to make some money off of it. I want to be if people are making money off of this being a Israelite, then you know what, you'd have every single church in the hood.
Man,
you know, taking down the cross and putting up the door. You know,
we're the ones with jobs. They don't have jobs. We got YouTube channels, but every single one of us, when we get done with this, gonna get up in the morning and go to our jobs. This isn't our job. I mean, not job like we're making money. This is ministry. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This ain't money. Half the time when I do make super chats, I'm reinvesting in, like, I gotta go get this microphone fixed. Because Pastor Johnson, it's not, don't say nothing. I know you send it, but the little prong thing, I got to get it fixed. I'm going to take it up to Guitar Center. But everything we get, we're reinvesting, or we're doing something, or we're giving back to the community, or, you know, we're doing something. But they're too busy looking at the money and not looking at the problem. And Israelite community is like, yep, look that way. That's your problem. We're not the problem. It's them. Y'all have gotten money from them. Y'all have been backed by them. And now you're not bowing down to them. Y'all causing a problem. Because now guess what? They coming for you all and they coming for us. They thought that they were just going to come for us. They coming for everybody that looks like us.
Well, you know, last week there was a somebody had posted this on Hebrew Sphere, and it was showing a black couple, quote unquote, you know, Israelite couple. They came on and they said, listen, we walked away from the church because they couldn't begin to address our struggles. They couldn't begin to address, you know, what was going on. See, the thing is, we're not teaching a different Christ, quote unquote. No. We're still talking about the same Yeshua HaMashiach, but we're talking about him the way that he actually was, and not a character that they created that was Europeanized to help fulfill their goal of world conquest. We're talking about salvation through his blood as being the sacrifice, and we're also talking about our what we're trying to do to maintain and to revive ourselves as a people after we had physically and spiritually died. So now it's hard for them to say, well, you want to know what? I just don't like the tone. I don't like what you're saying, you know? So we have to understand this is the problem here. They're losing the members. The membership is dwindling. You know, and you can't have the membership of white supremacy dwindling, because that is the cornerstone. That is it.
Yep.
And once you have that, man, you might as well just be fighting. It's time to throw it all on in.
So yeah, so we gonna go ahead and end because I know a couple of people are probably a little sleepy.
I saw somebody yawning. I know you ain't throwing no shade. You need to cover your mouth. You like,
I'm sorry, I'm sleepy, y'all. I do that. Y'all yard before. I just be like, "Ooh, I'm sleepy." I'm country, y'all. Pray for me. I try to be ladylike. Every blue moon, though, it come out.
I know.
My mama one day, she was just like, "So you just gonna yarn like that?" And I was like, "I was trying to hurry up, but it caught me off guard."
You know, hey, I have a question while everyone's on the line. Like, you know, in this new movement and everything, do we still say when somebody sneezes, do we still say God bless you? Or is that something pagan?
I just say it. Everything is.
You know what I mean? I'm serious. I mean, you know, like
I say it. I'm not one of those that scream everything is pagan because somebody said something made a lot of sense. If you wear Nikes, guess what? Pagan. The days of the week is named after some god. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I think paganism is effective when you're actually worshiping it.
Yeah.
That's when you're going into idolatry and pagan because your iPhone, pagan. Everything we do, we're in a pagan system. This entire system, America, the Statue of Liberty is pagan.
Who is this? Oh, we got a troll. Somebody got him.
Oh.
Wait.
Uh-oh, what happened?
No, it's not. Okay.
But the entire system.
Oh, Mr. Black Tassie. I don't know why I read that. It said you were holding the note.
You know what? Let me yawn for this one more time before I say something to you.
He is so funny. He is so funny.
Ignore him. I ignore him. I'm going to get a poor text.
Holding the note in the soprano section. Did you sing soprano?
I sang alto.
I sang alto too.
Mm-hmm.
Praise and worship team. I was one of those that was bouncing all over the place, hooping and hollering, telling people to stand up, praise them. Praise them.
Praise
Hold up. I came up in that type of church.
Get them robes on. Yeah,
One of those people be getting postman. You better praise them.
You start hollering.
Sit on God like that.
You don't sit on your blessing like that.
Don't sit on
your praise. You don't sit on your praise. You just be like.
You better shout to the Lord. Make sure you hear them praises. You get that blessing.
When the praises go up,
that's when you come down.
Hallelujah.
Get up. I knew you better get up. You like, listen,
you better get up.
And give him the praise. Don't you know he woke you up this morning?
Woke you up this morning. Started you on your way.
Stop.
You was clothed.
In your right mind.
In your right mind.
He gave you food to eat and shoes to wear. You look at you. They be like, look at them cars y'all got out there. I be like, I need some gas money though.
Food to put on your feet and shoes on your table to eat.
You know what? I know I did that once and accidentally got in those time, but we was looking at them like, do you expect us to sing after this? Because I'm cutting up. But y'all, I want to bring everybody on my Patreon people. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this again. This is not the last time.
This is fun.
This was fun.
You got to get Tia on.
Tia, you gonna act right?
She gonna act right.
Are you gonna act right? She gonna say no, but that's all right.
Tell truth, shame the devil.
No, I'm not gonna act right. I can't because I gotta go harass Jerry. No.
You gave her that wrench, you know she was on the prowl.
She's been empowered.
She's in the that last debate. Yeah, I promise.
Ooh, I'm doing a Sister E now. Something.
I told y'all I was like, wait a minute. But she was in that chat. She ain't finna back down. She ain't gonna back
That's all right. That's good.
down. And she gonna
That
go
warrior spirit.
What do you think about What do you think about the Israelites? What do you think about the Israelites? Answer the question. Answer the question.
I know.
Who the people here?
Put her in the interrogation room.
Get a chance.
Oh man.
But
Who the people, Tia? Tia, yeah. Who the people, Tia, yeah?
yeah. Email me when you get a chance, because I got to bring her up here, because she is hilarious. She'll come back and say, I just got through in Cherry's chat. When I first met her in the chat, she said, yeah, I just got through in her chat. I was like, you going to draw this crazy lady over here, and then I'm going to have to go off. No, but I unblocked Cherry because, yeah, I decided to unblock her, y'all. No, I didn't unblock her because I didn't doing something. No, I want to see what she gonna say.
Oh,
and she keeps saying people running from her. Ain't nobody finna argue with no crazy lady. But there she go. Do you hate Israelites? That's what she asked.
Oh,
I said, leave that crazy lady alone. But I tell you what,
Mr. Black Tassie. Bless his heart. In the choir.
I'm going out of here.
He sang tenor. Did you sing tenor, Mr. Black Tassie?
He was playing with the women. No, but yeah, I did unblock her because I want to see what her viewpoint is. She can come up here one day.
You know what? You know what? The lion shall lay down with the lamb. You know
that ain't no lie. That's like I was gonna say that's something else.
Whoa. Get right, church, and let's go home.
Man, but I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all, we gonna have to stay prayed up because that man right there is dangerous.
And it's not just him; it's the spirit. It's something that's really like spreading out like a virus.
Man, these white evangelicals are mad. Period.
Man, it's hornets.
They mad at us like we just like, and we're like we didn't
do nothing. But it's an old ancient hatred. It just you know. It goes way back. I don't think it's them so much. It's Hasatan who's behind all of this.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Yep.
So y'all, everybody give their closing statements, and then we're gonna say, "May
the Lord watch." Between me. What I say unto one, I say unto all.
And then start singing, God be with you till we meet again. That means we get ready to go home.
See, I was raised a Baptist. I remember them songs. Some of those Baptist songs. Oh my goodness.
When you heard that song, if you did fall asleep in church, you woke straight up because you like, yep, we going home now.
Yo. I enjoyed this. Thank you so much for allowing me space to share and to talk and to laugh and just, this is fellowship to me, because I don't have an assembly here locally that I attend and or could attend because there's none really. It's a dry land. It's dry.
And maybe we can all start doing something like a Zoom or something.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I still have a Zoom account. Frank said I want to smoke. I don't want to smoke because first, smoking is bad for your health.
Yeah, but this was beautiful.
But I mean, when you have a chat, we're not being nasty.
No.
Just not being nasty about other people. We make a little jokes or whatnot because, you have
to diffuse. You have to, you could go just absolutely nuts if you just kept all that stuff bottled up and just like, you just have to let it go and give it to y'all and laugh. And just sometimes you laugh to keep them crying sometimes because, what else can you do? What else can you do? We have to trust in y'all. We have to stay on our face before him. We have to. It's, since my awakening gave me such a love for him and such a love for his people, and such, that I love being who I am. It just awakened all of these different feelings and emotions and senses and everything and sensibilities I'm like, wow, it's like I became born again almost. I mean, it sounds kind of hokey, I know, but that's how I feel. It's like I would be driving down the street and I see a sister like, oh girl, your hair looks so good. I just wanted to encourage and uplift because we so torn down. We get so torn down, just life, and just things that that are happening to us. I just feel the need to just like, hey, you can do it. I just want to push someone up, and not tear them down, especially us. I love my people, and there's nothing wrong with me saying I love my people.
Correct. It's nothing.
Y'all my people.
We are your people. You can't get rid of Blacktastic. See?
What did he say? Oh, he is so funny.
Acting crazy. But I mean, y'all, we gotta keep each other in prayer.
Yeah, keep each other moving.
Because it's something that is looming, and we gotta be prepared mentally and spiritually.
It is something. I sense it sometimes. That a lot. It's like something coming. Something's about to happen. You can sense and like go on and pray. Read this. Read. It's like the unctioning of the Holy Spirit. Or the Ruach HaKodesh, as they say. The Ruach HaKodesh.
Ruach HaKodesh. I'm
Kodesh. Because we are the Kodesh ones. We are the set apart ones.
We are. Yes. Even Blacktastic.
Even Blacktastic is a chosen, called and chosen.
What is his job gonna be in the kingdom? That's the question. I'm scared. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking, Blacktastic.
Tia, y'all said the Lord watch
between me and thee. That means Saint Sleepy. All right, y'all.
All right.
So thank you all for joining us.
Y'all got them thumbs up.
Get them thumbs up. Cause say it again. I am not gonna mess it up. You tell me the right way again. I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna practice it. I'm gonna practice it. Let me record. Because it's beautiful. But come on, say it again. I'm gonna practice it.
It's really pronounced Ruhama.
Ruhama. That's what I was thinking.
You're really supposed to go like, that sound.
Ruhama. Tia, y'all don't come for me. Don't you come for me. Don't you do it. She already mad. She mad at me. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But Ruhama, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, y'all. I am
nice meeting you, Karis, and talking to you.
Yeah, you too. It was good. It was good being on here. I'm glad Sister E let me in. So that was truly a blessing. So you all have a great night.
Yes, everybody. All right, family. I thank y'all for joining us. There we go. Tia, yeah, it has started. Ruhama. I got it now. Don't do me like that. Oh, she's giving me a hard time. She's talking about me right now. But I thank God for everybody in the chat. I thank everybody on the panel. I thank God for just the great opportunity to just build with everyone. I know sometimes we all get caught up in the what's going on, Kingdom Harvard in the house. Wait a minute, my thing was fast. Mr. Divine Prospect Ron Shields himself. Woo-woo! We have a celebrity in the room. I'm serious. He did a good show this morning. That's how I felt, Ron, when you were doing your show and I was in my meeting. And he did a good show. He did a recap of what's been going on.
Okay.
But I missed it. I was so mad because I was stuck at work. So I was stuck in the meeting. And I was trying to have my little headphones on and listen to him and pay attention to what's going on my screen. And I heard somebody say my name. I was like, huh? So, no, but I'm going to go back and finish listening to it. It was
I haven't done that. I've done that at work too.
And he has chapters, people. He has a couple of chapters where it's about community service for the people. Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. I know it's one here. I missed him while he was here because I forgot and nobody reminded me. And by the time I realized that he was in my town, he was already gone. I said he could have messaged me or said something, but that's all right. He'll be back because he has a chapter here. Um, but we appreciate what you do, Ron, for the community. He does a lot for the community. He really does. He loves his people. I don't. Then he gonna say, "I know it was good." You know what, Ron? I'm so.
Well, in Virginia.
Yep. I'm in Virginia, but he said Norfolk, Virginia. So I've never been there. I'm gonna have to go check it out. But y'all, God bless y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. We're gonna let Ruhama go to sleep. And Kiri. I love my brother Ron. He's a blessing. If I'm gonna fight, he gonna fight before I fight with me. The first Ron has always been like, since he ain't got to say nothing, I'm gonna say it. Like I know if somebody messes with me between Kelly, Yacoba, Ron,
that's beautiful.
Serious, all of them, I don't get a chance to speak before they done spoke for me. So I thank the Most High God for the men that He's surrounding me around. They do protect me because I'm like, I think the only woman Ashonda just started here a year. Me and her started at the same time, around the same time. But they take care of me. They really do. And I think that's what keeps people away from me too, because they like, yeah, you don't have to deal with a whole bunch of them. Raj, I remember one time I got into it with someone. I didn't get to finish the argument between the guy in the chat. Ron and Pastor Kelly both had a live up. I'm like, and told the guy, come on, since you want to come in the live, we'll have a conversation.
Oh, that's beautiful, though. That's how it should be, though. You know, I admire that. I noticed that about the brothers. That's very good. It's very godly, very good character.
Yeah. Yes, because they know Sister E would get herself in a pickle sometimes. They'd be like, go get her. And Black Tastic, too. I can't forget about him. him.
That's beautiful, though. I just love that community family feel, though. And I think that's what draws people to the different, you guys, your content and such. It's a family.
Yep.
And you feel a part of it. You get on there, hey, family, and Yacoba Teo, I don't know which one, would always, hello, family. He would always say that. And it's like, you hear that and that faith comes by hearing kind of by, it's like a sense of family.
Yes, it is.
A belonging.
It is. I remember when I got into it with Cherry and Faithful to God. Teo and Dante did a live. And Yacoba coming at them. Like, you're not going to come for. And I'm like, wow, you never know that you have that type of family until stuff started. When I left Berean and all the stuff happened, they had my back. They was like, sister, you don't have to say nothing.
I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
They are a blessing, and they love y'all too. They love the Black community. They want to see us do great.
I believe that. So, and I like how you guys are supporting each other. When Kingdom Harbinger was doing something, for the families, and Dante was announcing it and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's, it's like community, because we're helpers. We're here to promote and help each other. I think that's beautiful. That doesn't get broadcast. You don't see that on the news somewhere. It's always, oh, these Black people did this and they did that, or whatever. Something negative. It's always something negative. But we have to promote ourselves and promote this sense of unity and family, amongst ourselves, and keep telling it to ourselves, because we don't hear it, and we don't, we don't often hear it. So we need to hear it. Yes, we're family. Families might disagree. We don't totally agree on this and that point or what have you, but we're still family, and we're gonna push through this thing.
And they're very protective of the community. Like he did that whole thing with COVID to financially assist the families when they were struggling.
That was beautiful.
Yep.
I thought that was beautiful. That was.
The men in our community, overall, are cool, good. They're good guys. They're good guys.
I get that sense, like even if they, if they like make a mistake or whatever, I like how they come back, and say, look, I did this, I'm sorry. And it's like I haven't done something stupid or whatever, or said something, it's wow. I admire that. I like seeing godly character because that's what y'all likes to see in me, and I want to display that too. And you want to be around people who are, striving. Not saying you there yet, but you going in that direction. You want to do what he would have you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just amazing. So
yeah.
Cut ups though. We all individually cut up, but I think it's so many collective community people within our community with different, and we don't all think the same. We don't.
Oh no,
we don't
agree on the same thing. Some of them believe flat Earth, some don't.
Yep.
Some law, some don't, or
Yep.
law keeping and whatever. Some people still might want a pork chop. Some people don't want any pork at all.
Yep. And that's what I love about Muhammad coming into the fold a little bit more, because he's about, we got to come together. We have differences, yes. We do. We're gonna believe, but we first got to unify and then iron out our differences.
Yes. We have to united front, basically, because there are things that are coming against us, and we have to stand united. I mean, we're scattered all over the place.
We really are. Well, I know everybody's sleepy.
I know. Girl, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I'm gonna start talking like Marie.
Oh, let's go ahead and go. May the Lord watch between you. Oh, it's just 12:30. I'm done. I'm just gonna wash a load of clothes, clean up the kitchen a little bit more. No, I'm not sleepy yet.
You're not sleepy. Did you have a Red Bull?
I go to sleep. The thing is, I don't have to get up and work till 10 because the time difference.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm good. I'm off on Fridays. Hallelujah.
No, I got to go in. But I'm actually going, I got to drive out of town. I'm going to Baltimore, so
okay,
check it out. So,
all right.
But y'all, thank y'all so much.
Do you have a saying that you do? Because everyone else has something that they say. You don't have anything? Until next time I'm out. That's what.
Right.
That's what Doc said.
Right. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all are a blessing. I'll see y'all the next go round. I have to have a little thing.
Yeah, Sister Shauna, what did she say? Love yourself without hating your enemies, or hate your enemies without loving your. No, wait. I'm tired. I'm thinking those. What did she say? Hate yourself. No, she don't say hate yourself. No, scratch that. No, I didn't mean that. Love yourself love your enemies without hating yourself.
That's a good saying. I'm gonna say, make sure you pay your bills so your lights don't get cut off.
Make sure you pay your bills.
Or your lights don't get cut off and you lose your car. He
Jesus will fix it.
He'll fix it, but he's gonna say, I gave you a check. Why you didn't pay the bill?
After a while.
And don't eat pork, eat more chicken. That's my thing.
Don't eat pork.
But that's it. I just want to tell everybody, I guess that's my closing thing. I say, well, everybody, thank you for joining me, and that's it. Thank you. I'm special, y'all. Pray for me. Pray for me.
Must be the ties that bind.
Everybody saying good night. Them numbers dropping, but thank y'all so much.
Falling like flies.
Like, we over it. And they've been up later with me. That's what's crazy.
We ain't talking about nothing.
I would be, if I was in Memphis, it would be 11:30, and I would still be going. I have stopped doing lives at 1:00 in the morning, and people still be out there. Now y'all
give Sister a closing line. Somebody give her a good closing line. Just something really nice and
good night. Just the closing line.
Put off this thing.
Good night. Shalom. Good night. See you on the next go round. Somebody gonna probably email me. Sister, you say this? I'm like, okay, and I ain't gonna be able to put it together. And then somebody did this. Tia Yah said, do that.
Oh. Get some dap. Get you a better sign off. Yeah.
I need a better sign off. Happy birthday. That's taking there. I'm not finna sit here and be looking at these emojis. I'm finna go to bed. Saints, that's my closing remark. Saints, I'm going to bed. I will see y'all. I'm just joking. On the next go round. God bless y'all. Thanks.
Bless you. Love you guys. Love you, Israel.
Love
Your
you.
captivity is ending.
I don't want to use that phrase. They're not gonna be telling me in the chat tomorrow. You use that phrase. I'm like, shut up. I'm gonna use what I want to use. I'm just joking.
Your captivity is ending. We're gonna be in the wilderness and pick out your best wilderness outfit. Words of wisdom there. Get comfortable shoes and some water and tent pegs.
These folks saying you gotta find a better outro. Okay, my outro is good night.
Good night.